urge Republicans to get together on his budget plan, which includes extending the Donald Trump tax cuts from 2017. He's going to talk a lot about the border and border security. He's going to tout what he is saying is massive deportations of people in the country.
My brother went down the
illegally.
Asmongold pipeline,
Of course,
and now he thinks
facts are a little bit mixed.
Now
there.
he genuinely thinks I'm a terrorist for being a fan. Genuinely, it's like a brain disease. He was such a chill dude. Bro, that's your brother. What the fuck? That's crazy. I don't know. I don't know how you deal with that. Save him. You don't know how American families work. I just don't think that these people genuinely think that you're a terrorist. I don't think these people genuinely think I'm a terrorist either, okay? Like, a terrorist is a person that goes out and actively harms innocent civilians, all right? Deliberately. Like, you're not... That's not how you deal. You don't go and fall asleep in the same house with a fucking terrorist. You can't just be like, oh, you're a terrorist. And then, you know, go to bed next to a terrorist in the same fucking house. You obviously don't believe it. They think you create terrorists, bud. I know they think that, bud. I know. But I don't think they genuinely believe that either. You're still too charitable to these freaks. Because I understand that there's a shit ton of them, okay? And there's two different methods of dealing with it. You either basically say they're insane and shut them off completely, or you try to talk to them and pull them off the ledge. We don't wait, by the way, we want to watch. Okay, but it hasn't started yet, chatters. What the hell?
A high-stakes primetime address.
The president's first major speech to Congress just 43 days into his administration.
Our special coverage starts right now.
Tonight on Capitol Hill, a critical moment for President Trump.
The president set to lay out his priorities to lawmakers, coming at a turbulent moment at home and abroad.
President Trump ramping up efforts to reshape the federal government as he signals a shift from decades of U.S. foreign policy.
From NBC News, President Trump's address to a joint session of Congress. Live from Washington, here are Lester Holt and Savannah Guthrie.
And hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to our special coverage of President Trump's address.
Why are you saying watch C-SPAN, please? C-SPAN's freaking boring.
Since his second term began.
Here's the scene on the House floor right now where the president is expected to speak just minutes from now. He'll lay out his priorities, both foreign and domestic.
A senior administration official telling NBC News tonight his theme will be the renewal of the American dream. Of course, the Speaker of the House, Vice President J.D. Vance, waiting there at the dais. It comes, of course, at a critical moment for President Trump and for the country as he ramps up his efforts to fundamentally reshape the federal government. And days after the world saw a major shift in U.S. foreign policy during his Oval Office showdown with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Less than 2 months into his administration, the president already hitting the ground running on his agenda, including big cuts from the newly created Department of Government Efficiency, along with plans for mass deportation and tariffs on our country's largest trading partners, which just went into effect today.
Well, tonight we expect to hear more about the president's vision for the future when he takes the podium.
Chat, how long until he creepily compliments someone's wife? First 30 seconds. Immediately. I was with J.D. Vance's wife, Yusha. She's Indian, but I like her.
Let's start with you. We're watching
2 minutes in. I have noticed that too. That's his favorite thing to do. His favorite thing to do is constantly talk about people's wives. It's very weird.
Tell us what you expect to hear from the
Lovely lady. I would have chosen a white lady, but it's okay. JD got a good one.
About his mass deportation plans. He's going to defend the Elon Musk-led efforts to really carve out large swaths of the federal government. It comes at a time when his approval rate...
Someone in the chat said, is this going to be tighter or is he going to ramble on? My man, if you think he's not going to ramble on, you have not been paying attention. Donald Trump has never been tight, okay? Did you remember a Biden speech, dude? HasanAbi hypocrite, haha. I love that. Thank God we got some hogs in here. Oh, I miss the hogs so much. Thank you for being in here with us, chatter. I will give you delicious lib tears that you are looking for. You obviously weren't in here when I was covering Biden and shitting on him relentlessly, but it's okay. It makes me happy that the liberals are in here to be like, you just hate Trump. You loved it when Biden gave State of the Union.
Those close to the president
Steve
feel he has executed
in the building.
on that.
My
and
goat.
in fact, a senior administration official tells me that's what we can expect to hear in the first part of the president's speech tonight, him laying out his accomplishments. I also spoke with one Democratic member who said to me just today, listen, Democrats have gotten off to a lackluster start as far as responding in a cohesive way strategically to the first 6 weeks of the Trump administration here, but they do feel like there is some hope that they are finding their footing by focusing very sharply on issues like the economy.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to pull up Asmongold's chat too to see what they're saying as well. Trust.
These cabinet picks were controversial.
Trust me.
With the exception of Matt Gaetz, who was briefly
that makes
nominated
it more
to be
fun.
Attorney General.
It's like live reacting alongside Asmongold.
Often along party lines. As I turn to Peter Alexander, I mean, this is the president's choice to lead some of these changes. We are going to also see Elon Musk not entering with the cabinet, but arguably as important, if not more important, in terms of what he's been doing with the federal government.
Well, we wait to see where Elon Musk is going to be sitting. Is he there side by side with the cabinet? He appeared in the cabinet meeting a few days ago. We saw him riding with the motorcade, dressed in a suit this go around, joining Donald Trump on this night. I'm struck by a couple things. How much has changed since the last time we saw Donald Trump in this position? 5 years ago, his last State of the Union. We've had COVID since then and so many other changes. Think about the room, just the optics of this. When he first gave a joint address, there was a different vice president over his shoulder. Then Mike Pence, this go around J.D. Vance. A different Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. This time around, of course, it's going to be Mike Johnson. Well, we heard from him
Make a tweet.
8 years
I already
ago.
did.
He talked about putting an end to the trivial fights in America. There is Elon Musk. We see him in the chamber right now. You talk about the trivial fights. He said, let's put an end to them. Think about all the trivial, no longer trivial, the major fights we're dealing with right now with Canada, one of our closest allies, with Ukraine, until recently one of our tightest allies as well. The president has a lot of unique challenges tonight. But I think
P. Hexit, how drunk do y'all think P. Hexit is right now? How many shots deep is he?
Dozen eggs, $1.46. This go around, nearly $5 for a dozen eggs.
As the country battles the avian flu and the effects of that, we want to go to Capitol Hill now. Our chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles is inside the House chamber, in the room where it will happen. And he has a Republican Senate, a Republican House, but these are very narrow majorities. And the political clock is ticking, Ryan, for him to get his agenda through.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Savannah. And it is pretty stark when you look out at the chamber from my vantage point, which is right behind where the president will be speaking.
If you see like a little carrier in P. Hex's hand, you know what's up. You know the game. Game recognized game. He's gonna get the shakes. 30 minutes in, he's going to need to take a little sippy out of a sippy cup.
Which is a representation of how this speech will likely be received here in the next few minutes. I mean, it's important to keep in mind when Donald Trump first came into this chamber back in 2017, it was a very different environment than what he's going to deal with here tonight. His own party wasn't necessarily 100%
Jeffries
behind
wants
him,
them to be submissive and breedable.
And he won the presidency.
Jeffries told House
despite
Democrats
even some open
express unity and
opposition
take
from his
counter
fellow Republicans.
to Trump's
And he
address
even had some
tonight.
Democrats
Nice.
that were hoping that he would be the deal maker in chief.
Oh, shit.
By an enthusiastic GOP that has fallen completely in line behind him. They will shower him with applause throughout the night. In fact, one of the things to look for tonight, we saw Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who was right up there along the aisle and expected to greet the president as she came in. She's been showing her fellow members
signs with
a
this printed on
MAGA-style
it. That's
hat
funny.
that reads, "Trump was right about everything," which is indicative of how the Republicans feel about Donald Trump right now. But these Democrats on the other side of the aisle, they have now
Oh
been
shit, hold on. Let me put the MAGA hat on too. Yes, Chatter is right.
Process.
Chatter said put the MAGA hat on to express your apolitical nature.
Have alienated the Democrats. They've really given up all hope that they can
Guys, let's not, I want people to remember I am apolitical, okay? And the hat, of course, helps you recognize that this is the simple populist position and also the centrist position. As a centrist, I would like to wear my centrist shield. No politics here, obviously. Terrorist confirmed. Excuse me, chatter must be on a delay. I'm wearing a hat that shows my loyalties to centrism, to the
dressed
fence.
in very bright pink. That will be something that Donald Trump will have to see as he's given this address to this chamber here tonight. And then we've also spotted a number of Democratic men sporting ties with yellow and blue in support of Ukraine and, of course, the ongoing controversy as it relates to Ukraine. Now, some of these members, they've been waiting here since as early as 3 o'clock this afternoon to get those spots along the aisle, those coveted spots where they will get FaceTime with the president, be able to shake his hand on national television, and also have the opportunity to get an autograph of the speech after he leaves. Everything along those lines. You can see them showing their phones and talking to each other already about this experience that they have and the prime position that they've gotten here tonight. Now, it's also interesting to point out, as we wonder, will Democrats have any sort of vocal disapproval of this speech? Will they heckle or catcall? Will any of them walk out of the chamber tonight? We've been told by Democratic leadership that they've asked their members not to forcefully do any sort of demonstration like that, but they've already been warned by members of the House Freedom Caucus that any Democrat that attempts to disrupt the proceedings here tonight could potentially face a censure resolution. Now,
that's right, we'll censor you.
There are members of the House Freedom Caucus, both past and
Are
present.
you going to pull up Asmin's chat as well? I already did, but Trump hasn't started speaking yet, so it doesn't matter.
Called President Joe Biden during his speeches. So those are just some of the things that we'll be watching here in the chamber tonight, guys.
All right, Ryan, thanks. As we mentioned, tonight's address comes as President Trump slapped tariffs on some of our country's largest trading partners, including Canada, Mexico, and China. It's raising fears of an all-out trade war. For more, let's bring in our senior business correspondent, Christine Romans. Christine.
Hi there, good evening. And yes, you've got companies across the economy scrambling to figure out how to absorb these higher prices. 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico, another 10% on China. And in fact, many companies are saying there will be higher prices ahead for American consumers, which is interesting because President Trump has acknowledged that in part he was elected because Americans were tired of higher grocery prices. We heard today from the CEO of Target, the big discount retailer, that in fact, fruits and vegetables from Mexico this winter and spring, because of those tariffs, they will cost more. And in a matter of days, consumers will start to pay higher prices. Now, we expect to hear the president talk about egg prices and blame President Biden and the prior administration.
He's gonna blame.
About his trade
Wait,
war.
don't ban everyone that says "fuck you," dude. Come on, come on, mods. We gotta have some fun with these losers, please.
Sort of reorienting the global economy. We'll have to wait and see.
If you ban all the losers, then we can't have fun. No hog time.
That there was a softening potential.
Where did he go? I missed it. What was his name?
Position from the U.S. government saying that potentially the president.
He probably has some really sick thoughts.
And Mexico in the middle. No clarity yet, though, on whether
you're taking away my pets. I want to play with my food.
Even as industry, you guys, is sort of bracing for disruptions in the
supply chain.
What
was the name of the? What was the ad?
And higher prices all along the supply chain.
What did he say?
Sometimes the uncertainty itself can create tremors.
Fuck off! You should stay banned. Calling for children to be killed and parading that shit on your channel. You are what's wrong with the world. Terrorists calling for city politicians to be murdered. You are fucking scum. What godless POS gets off on kids being killed when they are Jewish? Just fucking hallucinating, dude. This guy is off the sauce. I'm unbanning him.
Parts of Congress are there, the House and the Senate, so we will hear his speech in just a few minutes. But
did you hear me say that, or did you see a clip of someone claiming I said that? Is the question.
Pain. Many economists.
I'm unbanning that guy. I'm bringing him back.
Incredible pressure on prices and on the economy at large if they were to stay in effect for a sustained period.
Absolutely. Economists of all stripes have come to that conclusion. President Trump himself rejects.
I don't know if you see this. Listen up, dork. I'm apolitical. Do you understand? I'm the most apolitical man that has ever existed in this entire land. Do you understand me? Look at how apolitical I am right now. You're over here. It's just you and me, baby. Look deeply into my eyes. stare into my gaze. Recognize the hat. This means I am a centrist. This means I am the most apolitical content creator that has ever actually entertained the airwaves. Do you understand? Look at the hat. I'll let the hat do the talking.
His legislative agenda comes into play. You are going to see him make a big pitch for Congress to pass the big bill that just passed through the House. It deals with the border, deportation,
apolitical
taxes.
terrorist videos.
His big argument is, let's get
You don't
that
understand,
done,
baby.
and then that will handle any pain that's felt.
You don't get it, but you
We're
will.
expecting the introduction of the president. Sergeant at Arms
Mr.
William
Speaker,
McFarland.
the President of the United States.
And we should note as you watch this, you would be forgiven if you thought you were about to watch the State of the Union address. Technically, this is a speech before a joint session of Congress. The difference being, in this case, it's a new president who will be looking forward, presumably, about his agenda versus a president who's going to review some of his accomplishments.
And now we see the long walk in. The First Lady, of course, has several guests with her and has become tradition. There will be guests who may be mentioned during the speech, and members from both sides bring guests as well to make political points. But it's just remarkable to think about this political comeback. President Trump now, this first address to a joint session after losing in 2020.
Oh, God.
Something that's only happened in America.
Oh my God. God, Democrats, man. I mean, look, Republicans are obviously insane and really lame, but goddamn, dude. I guess we can add that to the bipartisan consensus, okay? What do we have? We got pedophilic elite, okay? Bipartisanship definitely is right there, all right? When you talk about pedophilic elite and defending pedophilic elite, you got both sides that do a good deal of that, right? American foreign policy, of course, is bipartisan. Support for Israel, which is, American foreign policy, obviously, also bipartisan. And also now, I would say, aside from insider trading, that's a really good one. Insider trading is bipartisan. And last but not least, being unimaginably corny in different directions.
Weeks in, because remember, for some of these voters, this is still a kind of second honeymoon period for the president. He's only been in office 43 days. I heard that again and again. Give him a chance when it comes to prices, which matters so much to these voters, to all voters. Give him a chance to try to bring those prices down. I will tell you what I did here, and it was fascinating. One late 30s mom who backed President Trump in November, she said, you know what I don't like, though? She said, I wish we could vote Elon Musk out of office. She was concerned about what she saw as somebody who she viewed as out of touch, having so much influence at the White House. Now, again, Elon Musk was there on the campaign trail. It is not a surprise that he has become so close to President Trump. We have seen that over the course of the last nearly a year as he is in the room now in this chamber.
That's my president.
The face of those Doge cuts
Good
as
kiss.
President Trump here is walking in and shaking hands. But the optics here are different, and they are fascinating because of that political comeback.
Content
because
time.
of the fact that, remember, Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House as well.
And this is something that some members of Congress have been hearing about from constituents as they went back to their districts after this first period in Congress, and they're hearing about it, Peter.
Wait, HasanAbi, you like Donald Trump? No, I'm a centrist.
With how this is unfolding.
I need you to understand. There is no better sign that someone is a centrist than wearing this hat. Okay, I will respond to every single chatter that says I'm a fan of Donald Trump. I'm just simply a centrist. You might see me agreeing with virtually all of Donald Trump's policies and say he's based and he's pure content, but I'm actually an independent centrist. Okay? Just so you understand, I don't want you to make a mistake. It's okay to make the mistake one time, but I will not entertain it a second time. Okay? Just know that I am a centrist. Yeah, I'm based. I'm a base centrist
with
build.
military leaders, he went in, of course, there was a
You're
purge
missing
of
it? You're not
military
missing
leaders, including
shit.
the chairman
He's not.
of the Joint Chiefs of Staff recently.
He's doing the
You were
rounds.
talking
He's
about,
barely
what
getting
we've
up there.
seen in some of these town halls around the country right now as the president shows up. There has been real dissatisfaction. Critics say these are Democratic opponents, but a lot of Americans are starting to feel the impacts as it hits their own community. 80% of American federal workers work outside Washington, D.C.
Well, let's listen to the president.
luncheon today, so we can't talk about the substance of the conversation. But we can talk about, I think he seemed relaxed. He seemed very confident today.
Yeah, I think there's a pep in his step. I mean,
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. They are glazing him at NBC News. Holy shit, Lester. Take it out of your mouth. Take it out of your mouth.
This mandate and is looking forward to this speech tonight and wants to, as he says, tell it like it is.
Thank you.
Also remember, because I was banned yesterday, if you didn't resubscribe, your resubscription might have been canceled. You can subscribe now for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime or get gifted a sub.
Thank you very much. Speaker
Subscribe
Johnson,
now.
Vice President Vance.
Was that Ben Shapiro? Ew.
The First Lady of the United States.
Matt Walsh is there too. Gross.
Members of the United States Congress, thank you very much. And to my fellow citizens, America is back.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Certainly back, baby.
Six weeks ago, I stood beneath the dome of this Capitol and proclaimed the dawn of the golden age of America. From that moment on, it has been nothing but swift and unrelenting action to usher in the greatest and most successful era in the history of our country. We have accomplished more in 43 days than most administrations accomplished in 4 years, 8 years, and we are just getting started.
I'm dropping all planes going forward. No plane shall fly. It's an affront to God. It's disrespectful. Yeah, Trump brought big titties back into video games. That's why they're excited.
That America's momentum is back. Our spirit is back. Our pride is back. Our confidence is back. And the American dream is surging bigger and better than ever before. The American dream is unstoppable, and our country is on the verge of a comeback, the likes of which the world has never witnessed and perhaps will never witness again. There's never been anything like it. The presidential election of November 5th was a mandate like has not been seen in many decades. We won all 7 swing states, giving us an electoral college victory of 312 votes.
I think it's kind of it's a bit gross to glaze this hard. I mean, come on.
We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country.
Whoa, what's going on?
And won counties in our country, 2,700 to 525. on a map that reads almost completely red for Republican. Now, for the first time in modern history, more Americans believe that our country is headed in the right direction than the wrong direction. In fact, it's an astonishing record, 27-point swing, the most ever.
The most ever. Okay, I like that. I like the Democrats getting in their feelings a little bit. I like it.
Likewise, small business optimism saw its single largest one-month gain ever recorded, a 41-point
Oh, J.D. Vance, get him out of here! Yeah, my goat!
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared
Democratic
to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms
Congressperson.
to restore order to the joint session.
Yeah, he's got a cane. Yeah, he needs it. From Houston.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of property.
Have you said thank you once?
To restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Respect, 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 respect. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck it, YOLO. Respect. Smack him with the cane, Al Green. Woo! Defend yourself. You got a right to. Bro, I thought you were a centrist. Yeah, but I like the drama.
In the House. Mr. President, you continue.
Thank you. Over the past 6 weeks, I have signed nearly 100 executive orders and taken more than 400 executive actions, a record to restore common sense, safety, optimism, and wealth all across our wonderful land. The people elected me to do the job, and I'm doing it. In fact, it has been stated by many that the first month of our presidency, it's our presidency, is the most successful in the history of our nation. By many. And what makes it even more impressive is that, do you know who number 2 is? George Washington. How about that? How about that? I don't know about that list, but we'll take it. Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Are you posting like you're there? I am there.
They heard my words and they chose not to come.
They let me in.
Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month. And virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers,
Kinda
gang
does look
members,
embarrassed.
and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that? This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way. So Democrats sitting before me, for just this one night, why not join us in celebrating so many incredible wins for America? For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Classic. This is a classic Trump moment right here. Okay? The whole, like, why don't we work together? You guys just don't want to work with me. In destroying the administrative apparatus. Also, the saddest part about it is that the Democrats do want to work with him. They always say, oh, if they came to us, we would work on a bipartisan compromise.
America needs to bring a future that America deserves, and we're doing it. This is a time for big dreams and bold action. Upon taking office, I imposed an immediate freeze on all federal hiring, a freeze on all new federal regulations, and a freeze on all foreign aid.
Yeah! Woo! Fucking sick! No regulations! That's right! Fuck OSHA! I wanna die at the construction site, sir!
I withdrew from the unfair Paris climate accord.
I want to eat straight human fecal matter from my natural water supply.
That other countries were not paying. I
Also, freeze all foreign aid except Israel.
World Health Organization.
Shut the fuck up, you sissy liberal. Excuse
and I
me.
also
Look at that.
withdrew from the anti-American
that.
UN Human Rights Council. We ended all of Biden's environmental restrictions that were making our country far less safe and totally unaffordable. And importantly, we ended the last administration's insane electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto workers and companies from economic destruction. To unshackle our economy, I have directed that for every one new regulation, 10 old regulations must be eliminated, just like I did in my very successful first term. And in that first term, we set records on ending unnecessary rules and regulations like no other president had done before. We ordered all federal workers to return to the office. They will either show up for work in person or be removed from their job.
I think it's gross that Congress claps for this because they notoriously hate showing up for the job. Partially because they're all like 800 years old, but
a
still.
sitting president is allowed to viciously prosecute his political opponent, like me. How did that work out? Not too good. Not too good. And I have stopped all government censorship and brought back free speech in America. It's back.
Yeah. Except in this speech, he's going to reveal that he has a task force specifically dedicated to hurting Israel's feelings, by the way. So, no, he has not brought free speech back.
2 days ago, I signed an order making English the official language of the United States of America.
Lamau. Even people in his chat are like...
I renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And likewise, I renamed, for a great president, William McKinley, Mount McKinley again. Beautiful Alaska. Love Alaska.
Love Alaska.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
Fucking hell! No more woke! I guess they're playing bingo.
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller, you should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
I'm clapping IRL. Meritocracy, baby. Common sense. Just basic shit.
I also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports.
Based! Oh my God.
Years ago,
Dems are so anti-American, they won't even clap for common sense.
High school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Peyton's face, causing traumatic brain injury.
Wait, what the fuck? Why are you dunking on this random girl? That's kind of fucked up.
And ending her athletic career. It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it.
Bro, chill.
Peyton is here tonight in the gallery, and Peyton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
She's clapping. I'm not going to say anything. I just got unbanned. I'm not going to make any statements. I just got unbanned, okay? I'm not saying nothing.
And if you really want to see
bad for
numbers, just take a look at what happened in the women's boxing, weightlifting, track and field, swimming, or cycling, where a male recently finished a long-distance race 5 hours and 14 minutes ahead of a woman for a new record by 5 hours. By 5 hours. It's demeaning for women, and it's very bad for our country. We're not going to put up with it any longer. What I have just described is only a small fraction of the common sense revolution that is now, because of us, sweeping the entire world. Common sense has become a common theme, and we will never go back. Never. Never going to let that happen. Among my very highest priorities is to rescue our economy and get dramatic and immediate relief to working families. As you know, we inherited from the last administration an economic catastrophe and an inflation nightmare. Their policies drove up energy prices, pushed up grocery costs, and drove the necessities of life out of reach for millions and millions of Americans. They've never had anything like it. We suffered the worst inflation in 48 years, but perhaps even in the history of our country. They're not sure. As president, I'm fighting every day to reverse this damage and make America affordable again.
Bro, what do you mean? When is it going to become affordable?
Especially let the price of eggs get out of control.
Oh, he's blaming Biden!
The egg price is out of control. And we're working hard to get it back down. Secretary, do a good job on that. You inherited a total mess from the previous administration. Do a good job.
What?
A major focus of our fight to defeat inflation is rapidly reducing the cost of energy. The previous administration cut the number of new oil and gas leases by 95%.
I don't think they believe either. Even Asmongold's audience doesn't believe it.
To a halt and closed more than 100 power plants. We are opening up many of those power plants right now. And frankly, we have never seen anything like it. That's why on my first day in office, I declared a national energy emergency. As you've heard me say many times, we have more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on earth, and by far. And now I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. It's called Drill, Baby, Drill. My administration is also working on a gigantic natural gas pipeline in Alaska, among the largest in the world, where Japan, South Korea, and other nations want to be our partner with investments of trillions of dollars each. There's never been anything like that one. It will be truly spectacular. It's all set to go. The permitting is gotten. And later this week, I will also take historic action to dramatically expand production of critical minerals and rare earths here in the USA. To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but will be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps.
Yeah, it's so sick. Thank God. Yeah, clap for this hyena. Clap for the billionaire.
Which is headed by Elon Musk.
Boo. I'm sorry, I'm a centrist. I love Tesla. I love Elon. He's so genius.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's doing
We
us a
appreciate
favor
it.
by
Everybody
gutting the
here,
administrative
even this side
state.
appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
Yeah, no,
$32
definitely.
million for a left-wing propaganda operation in Moldova. $10 million for male
Moldovan Mama Liga, stand behind me.
in Mozambique. $20 million for
I gotta pee.
the Arab Sesame Street in the Middle East. It's a program. $20 million for a program. $1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her? A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring. $1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. $14 million for social cohesion in Mali. $59 million for illegal alien hotel rooms in New York City. He's a real estate developer. He's done very well. $250,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation in Zambia. $42 million for social and behavior change in Uganda. $14 million for improving public procurement in Serbia. $47 million for improving learning outcomes in Asia. Asia's doing very well with learning. You know what we're doing. We should use it ourselves. And $101 million for DEI contracts at the Department of Education. The most ever paid, nothing even like it. Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
Trump can't read. He's reading right now, baby. He's reading. He's reading the
We've
room.
taken back the money and reduced our debt to fight inflation and other things. Taking back a lot of that money. We got it just in time. This is just the beginning.
Get him. Yell. Who's
the
yelling?
Government Accountability Office, a federal government office, has estimated annual fraud of over $500 billion in our nation, and we are working very hard to stop it. We're going to. We're also identifying shocking levels of incompetence and probable fraud in the Social Security program for our seniors, and that our seniors and people that we love rely on. Believe it or not, government databases list 4.7 million Social Security members from people aged 100 to 109 years old. It lists 3.6 million people from ages 110 to 119. I don't know any of them. I know some people that are rather elderly, but not quite that elderly. 3.47 million people from ages 120 to to 129. 3.9 million people from ages 130 to 139. 3.5 million people from ages 140 to 149. And money is being paid to many of them. And we're searching right now. In fact, Pam, good luck. Good luck. You're going to find it. But a lot of money is paid out to people because it just keeps getting paid, and nobody does. And it really hurts Social Security and hurts our country. 1.3 million people from ages 150 to 159, and over 130,000 people, according to the Social Security databases, are age over 160 years old. We have a healthier country than I thought, Bobby. Including, to finish, 1,039 people between the ages of 220 and 229, one person between the age of 240 and 249, and one person is listed at 360
By the
years
way,
of age.
some of this stuff has been corrected, like fact-checked and stuff, and people have described why they think that this is wrong and that they're operating on faulty data, but it literally doesn't matter. It just does not matter.
Where that money's going.
I think,
and it's not going to be pretty.
I think it's just basically
the, fraud, waste,
the goal now is basically just keep repeating it over and over again because lying is so OP, and they've realized that like the dumbasses in the cult will absolutely eat it up
in the pockets of American families.
We officially do not have any interest in the truth at all. Ain't nobody is going to recognize that these people are just straight up lying. And it sucks because I always talk about when the Democrats lie. Always. But you will never, I will never expect a single fucking Republican, a commentator, independent, centrist, okay, to ever turn around and be like, he's lying. Like, this is just straightforwardly not true.
4 years. Balance the federal budget. We're going to balance it.
But aren't you a centrist? Yeah, I'm a centrist, and I'm saying this as a centrist. As you can tell, I'm apolitical.
With that goal in mind, we have developed in great detail what we are calling the Gold Card, which goes on sale very, very soon. For $5 million, we will allow the most successful job-creating people from all over the world to buy a path to U.S. citizenship. It's like the green card, but better and more sophisticated. And these people will have to pay tax in our country. They won't have to pay tax from where they came. The money that they've made, you wouldn't want to do that, but they have to pay tax, create jobs. They'll also be taking people out of colleges and paying for them so that we can keep them in our country instead of having them being forced out. Number one, at the top school, as an example, being forced out and not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money. Americans have given us a mandate for bold and profound change. For nearly 100 years, the federal bureaucracy has grown until it has crushed our freedoms, ballooned our deficits, and held back America's potential in every possible way. The nation founded by pioneers and risk takers now drowns under millions and millions of pages of regulations and debt. Approvals that should take 10 days to get instead take 10 years, 15 years, and even 20 years before you're rejected. Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over. And the next phase of our plan to deliver the greatest economy in history
what do you call
is
Elon?
for this Congress.
You call him a genius. That's what you call him.
Everybody,
I'm a
they're in
centrist.
there. They're waiting for you to vote.
I'm a centrist, by the way. You call Elon a genius, an unelected
I don't
genius.
mean the Republican right, but my right here. I'm sure you're going to vote for those tax cuts, because otherwise I don't believe the people will ever vote you into office. So I'm doing you a big favor by telling you that. But I know this group is going to be voting for the tax. Thank you. It's a very, very big part of our plan. We had tremendous success in our first term with it. A very big part of our plan. We're seeking permanent income tax cuts all across the board. And to get urgently needed relief to Americans hit especially hard by inflation, I'm calling for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security benefits for our great seniors. And I also want to make interest payments on car loans tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America.
Yeah, chat, don't write anything stupid in the chat. You will get banned. You will get insta-clapped, okay?
And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made.
Where are these plants opening up?
Of the election win.
Where are the plants opening up? If there's any new plants that have opened up, it's directly a consequence of the Brandon administration's policies. You've only been in office for like what, 30 fucking days? Get out of here.
Absolutely boom. It's going to boom. Spoke to the majors today, all three, the top people, and they're so excited. In fact, already numerous car companies have announced that they will be building massive automobile plants in America, with Honda just announcing a new plant in Indiana, one of the largest anywhere in the world. And this has taken place since our great victory on November 5th, a date which will hopefully go down as one of the most important in the history of our country. In addition, as part of our tax cuts, we want to cut taxes on domestic production and all manufacturing. And just as we did before, we will provide 100% expensing. It will be retroactive to January 20th, 2025. And it was one of the main reasons why our tax cuts were so successful in our first term, giving us the most successful economy in the history of our country. First term. We had a great first term. If you don't make your product in America, however, under the Trump administration, you will pay a tariff, and in some cases, a rather large one. Other countries have used tariffs against us for decades, and now it's our turn to start using them against those other countries. On average, the European Union, China, Brazil, India, Mexico, and Canada, have you heard of them? And countless other nations charge us
I
tremendously
hate Trump, but I love when he says, have you heard of them? About some of the most like everyone's heard of it things. Like, yes, we've heard about China and Mexico and Canada.
On our products is twice
Thank you.
what we charge them. And South Korea's average tariff is 4 times higher.
That's right. I love the rhetorical question joke. I know that's the joke. I love when he makes that joke.
In so many other ways to South Korea, but that's what happens.
It's such a childish thing. It's such a grandpa joke to make.
The system is not fair to the United States and never was. And so on April 2nd, I wanted to make it April 1st, but I didn't want to be accused of April Fool's Day. That's not just one day, which cost us a lot of money. But we're going to do it in April. I'm a very superstitious person. April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them. If they do non-monetary tariffs to keep us out of their market, then we will do non-monetary barriers to keep them out of our market. There's a lot of that, too. They don't even allow us in their market. We will take in trillions and trillions of dollars and create jobs like we have never seen before. I did it with China and I did it with others, and the Biden administration couldn't do anything about it because there was so much money they couldn't do anything about it. We have been ripped off for decades by nearly every country on earth, and we will not let that happen any longer. Much has been said over the last 3 months about Mexico and Canada, but we have very large deficits with both of them. But even more importantly, they've allowed fentanyl to come into our country at levels never seen before, killing hundreds of thousands of our citizens and many very young, beautiful people, destroying families. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Pop-Tart during Ramadan is astaghfirullah. First of all, the sun set already.
Hundreds of billions of dollars. We pay subsidies to
Secondly,
Canada
I'm not fasting. Third,
and to Mexico of hundreds of billions of dollars.
It's a protein
and the
Pop-Tart.
United States will not be doing that any longer. We're not going to do it any longer. Thanks to our America First policies we're putting into place, we have had $1.7 trillion of new investment in America in just the past few weeks. The combination of the election and our economic policies that people of SoftBank, one of the most brilliant anywhere in the world, announced a $200 billion investment. OpenAI and Oracle, Larry Ellison, announced $500 billion investment, which they wouldn't have done if Kamala had won. Apple announced $500 billion investment. Tim Cook called me. He said, I cannot spend it fast enough. It's going to be much higher than that, I believe. They'll be building their plants here instead of in China. And just yesterday, Taiwan Semiconductor, the biggest in the world, most powerful in the world, has a tremendous amount, 97% of the market, announced a $165 billion investment to build the most powerful chips on earth right here in the USA. And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people. And they will come because they won't have to pay tariffs if they build in America. So it's very amazing. You should get rid of the CHIP Act, and whatever's left over, Mr. Speaker, you should use it to reduce debt or any other reason you want to. Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. Who will now be selling into our home market, the USA, because nobody is going to be able to compete with you. Because there's goods that come in from other countries and companies. They're really in a bad position in so many different ways. They're uninspected. They may be very dirty and disgusting, and they come in and they pour in, and they hurt our American farmers. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better. That was great. The problem with it was that Biden didn't enforce it. He didn't enforce it. $50 billion of purchases, and we were doing great, but Biden did not enforce it, and it hurt our farmers. But our farmers are going to have a field day right now. So to our farmers, have a lot of fun. I love you too. I love you too. It's all going to happen.
I love you. You're all gonna lose so much revenue, farmers. My big, beautiful farmers, just a period of adjustment.
Aluminum, copper, lumber, and steel.
Your families are gonna
We don't have,
starve.
as an example, steel and lots of other things. We don't have a military, and frankly, we just won't have a country very long. Here today is a proud American steelworker, fantastic person from Decatur, Alabama. Jeff Denard has been working
Nobody
at the
clap
same
for you,
steel
big dog.
plant for 27 years in a job that is
Ain't
allowed
nobody
him
clap
to
for you,
serve as
Jeff.
the captain of his local volunteer fire department, raised 7 children with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and over the years provide a loving home for more than 40 foster children. So great, Jeff.
Big dog clap for himself.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Stories like Jeff's remind us that tariffs are not just about protecting American jobs. They're about protecting the soul of our country. Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much. No, you're not. Oh. And look where Biden took us. Very low, the lowest we've ever been. Jeff, I want to thank you very much. And I also want to recognize another person who has devoted herself to foster care community. She works so hard on it. A very loving person, our magnificent First Lady of the United States. Melania's work has yielded incredible results, helping prepare our nation's future leaders as they enter the workforce. Our First Lady is joined by 2 impressive young women, very impressive. Haley Ferguson, who benefited from the First Lady's Fostering the Future initiative.
Did she get smacked in the head too, bro? What's going on?
Complete her education, become a teacher.
Some of these people that he brings on are so, it's just like you're dunking on them, you know?
Deep fake image produced by a peer.
Look at the timing of this article. Breaking. China announces 7.2% increase in defense spending. Uh-oh.
And this is so important. Thank you very much, John. John Thune, thank you. Stand up, John. Thank you, John.
He's so weird.
Thank you all
He's
very
so
much.
weird when he refers to people. He's so freaking weird when he talks about stuff.
Thank you.
Like, he has
And
no
thank you to
capacity to
John
talk
Thune
about
and
people
the
in an
Senate.
empathetic way.
Great job.
It's odd,
to
dude.
criminalize the publication of such images online is terrible, terrible thing. And once
It's
it
such a
passes the
strange
House,
way to
I look
refer to
forward
humans, especially
signing
women. He
that
does this a
bill
lot.
into law. Thank you. And I'm going to use that bill for myself, too, if you don't mind. Because nobody gets treated worse than I do online. Nobody. That's great. Thank you very much to the Senate. Thank you. But if we truly care about protecting Americans' children, no step is more crucial than securing America's borders. Over the past 4 years, 21 million people poured into the United States. Many of them were murderers, human traffickers, gang members, and other criminals from the streets of dangerous cities all throughout the world. Because of Joe Biden's insane and very dangerous open border policies, they are now strongly embedded in our country, but we are getting them out and getting them out fast. And I want to thank Tom Homan and Christy. I want to thank you and Paul of Border Patrol. I want to thank you. What a job they've all done. Everybody, Border Patrol, ICE, law enforcement in general is incredible. We have to take care of our law enforcement. Have to. Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
Why is the dad not there? You know why. Because the dad, I think it was the dad that said, please don't make my daughter's death political and use it as a cudgel against, like, migrants, right?
Last year,
like he
I
said,
told
don't
Laken's
exploit her
grieving
tragedy.
parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our
This political
Laken
instrumentalization of something like this is simply disgusting. Yeah, it's super commonplace now. Trump definitely accelerated it. It used to happen. Back in the day, there was like some repercussions for it. There was some backlash to it. But, I mean, one of the more famous instances is the Willie Horton incident. Like, Republicans have always done this, though. They always use, like, humans as props.
My administration has launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history, and we quickly achieved the lowest numbers of illegal border crossers ever recorded. Thank you. The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president. Thank you. Joe Biden didn't just open our borders, he flew illegal aliens over them to overwhelm our schools, hospitals, and communities throughout the country. Entire towns like Aurora, Colorado, and Springfield, Ohio, buckled under the weight of the migrant occupation and corruption like is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are 2 illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature.
By the way, Elisa Slotkin, Democrats' choice for responding to the State of the Union here, voted for the Laken Riley Act.
Refuge.
If you want to understand where the Democrats are going with their future vision.
Acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order? Thank you very much. All 3 savages charged with Jocelyn and Laken.
So one of the judges doing land acknowledgments, but for migrant crime victims.
Known as Tren de Aragua.
The difference is the Democrats don't do anything after land acknowledgments. Republicans use that as an opportunity to deport every undocumented migrant.
Foreign terrorist organizations. They are now officially in the same category as ISIS, and that's not good for them. Countless thousands of these terrorists were welcomed into the U.S. by the Biden administration.
We're getting to
every last one will
Hamas
be
in a second.
rounded up and forcibly removed from our country, or, if they're too dangerous, put in jails, standing trial in this country, because we don't want them to come back ever. With us this evening is a warrior on the front lines of that battle, Border Patrol Agent Roberto Ortiz. Great guy. In January, Roberto and another agent were patrolling by the Rio Grande near an area known as Cartel Island. Doesn't sound too nice to me. When heavily armed gunmen started shooting at them, Roberto saw that his partner was totally exposed, at great danger, and he leapt into action, returning fire and providing crucial seconds for his fellow agent to seek safety, just barely. I have some of the prints of that event, and it was not good. Agent Ortiz, we salute you for your great courage and for your line of fire that you took and for the bravery that you showed. We honor you, and we will always honor you. Thank you, Roberto, very much. Thank you, Roberto. And I actually got to know him on my many calls to the border. He's a great gentleman. The territory to the immediate south of our border is now dominated entirely by criminal cartels that murder, rape, torture, and exercise total control. They have total control.
Chatters, 52% of Customs and Border Patrol is Hispanic. At least last time I checked, it was just like in 2022 or something.
America, and it's time for America
so no,
to wage
he's
war
not
on the cartels, which we are doing. Five nights ago, Mexican authorities, because of our tariff policies being imposed on them, think of this, handed over to us 29 of the biggest cartel leaders in their country. That has never happened before. They want to make us happy. First time ever.
That's literally not true. They always.
But we need Mexico and Canada.
They always send
to do much more than they've done, and they have
cartel
to stop
bosses. What
the
are you?
fentanyl and drugs pouring into the USA. They're going to stop it. I have sent Congress a detailed funding request laying out exactly how we will eliminate these threats to protect our homeland and complete the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than current record holder, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a moderate man, but someone who believed very strongly in borders. Americans expect Congress to send me this funding without delay,
yes, they
so
do.
I can sign
You're
it
saying
into
that
law.
they
So,
usually don't because of capital punishment, but there are plenty of big cartel bosses that have been sent to America.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Leader, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's get it to me. I'll sign it so fast, you won't even believe it.
No, they don't. What are you saying?
And as we reclaim our sovereignty, we must also bring back law and order to our cities and towns. In recent years,
they don't usually
our
offer up
justice
29 cartel
system
bosses
has
at a
been
time.
turned
No, the point is they
upside
do.
down by radical left lunatics. Many jurisdictions virtually ceased enforcing the law against dangerous repeat offenders while weaponizing
I'll
law
respond to you
enforcement
guys in a
against
little bit.
political opponents like me. My administration has acted swiftly and decisively to restore fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law, starting at the FBI and the DOJ. Pam, good luck. Cash, wherever you may be, good luck. Good luck. Pam Bondi. Good luck. So important. Going to do a great job. Cash, thank you. Thank you, Cash.
Cash always looks like he's up to some cryptocurrency scheming. Like he dresses like a cryptocurrency rug puller.
We're also once again giving our police
crazy.
officers the support, protection, and respect they so dearly deserve. They have to get it. They have such a hard, dangerous job, but we're going to make it less dangerous. The problem is the bad guys don't respect the law, but they're starting to respect it, and they soon will respect it. This also includes our great fire departments throughout the country. Our firemen and women are unbelievable people, and we'll never forget them. And besides that, they voted for me in record numbers, so I have no choice. 1 year ago this month, 31-year-old New York police officer Jonathan Diller, unbelievably wonderful person and a great officer, was gunned down at a traffic stop on Long Island. I went to his funeral. The vicious criminal charged with his murder had 21 prior arrests, and they were rough arrests, too. He was a real bad one. The thug in the seat next to him had 14 prior arrests and went by the name of Killer. He was Killer. He killed other people, they say, a lot of them. I attended Officer Diller's service, and when I met his wife and one-year-old son, Ryan, it was very inspirational, actually. His widow's name is Stephanie, and she is here tonight. Stephanie, thank you very much, Stephanie. Thank you very much. Stephanie, we're going to make sure that Ryan knows his dad was a true hero, New York's finest, and we're going to get these cold-blooded killers and repeat offenders off our streets, and we're going to do it fast. Got to stop it. They get out with 28 arrests. They push people into subway trains. They hit people over the head, back of the head with baseball bats. We got to get them out of here. I've already signed an executive order requiring a mandatory death penalty for anyone who murders a police officer. And tonight I'm asking Congress to pass that policy into permanent law. I'm also asking for a new crime bill getting tough on repeat offenders while enhancing protections for America's police officers so they can do their jobs without fear of their lives being totally destroyed. They don't want to be killed. We're not going to let them be killed. Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer.
Oh, God. Jordan just said, be a YouTuber, bro. Bro, get into TikTok, bro. Get into TikTok, Brody. Don't do this.
But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago.
Some of that hairline is insane in the Asmongold community. Bro, he got brain cancer. Calm down. By the way, I have the same shirt his dad has.
Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer. Actually, a number of times. The police love him. The police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do...
It's crazy he's using a little kid with brain cancer as a kid who wants to be a cop. Meanwhile, he cut funding to cancer research.
Officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
Bro's like, you're the last one. No one else is getting brain cancer treatment. We've cut the funding.
DJ. DJ's doctors believe his cancer likely came from a chemical he was exposed to when he was younger.
From the vaccine.
Since 1975, rates of child cancer have increased by more than 40%.
Good thing we're deregulating.
Reversing this trend is one of the top priorities for our new presidential commission to make America healthy again.
Bro cut cancer research, and he cut the regulatory agency budgets so that more children can get cancer, and we can't find a cure for them. Hey, yo! He's actively pointing to him. He's like, every child is going to be like DJ. But unlike DJ, they will not get a cure because we cut it.
With the name Kennedy, you would have thought everybody over here would have been cheering. How quickly they forget. Our goal is to get toxins out of our environment, poisons out of our food supply, and keep our children healthy and strong. As an example, not long ago, and you can't even believe these numbers, 1 in 10,000 children had autism, 1 in 10,000. And now it's 1 in 36. There's something wrong. 1 in 36. Think of that. So we're going to find out what it is, and there's nobody better than Bobby and all of the people that are working with you. You have the best to figure out what is going on. Okay, Bobby? Good luck. It's a very important job. Thank you. Thank you. My administration is also working to protect our children from toxic ideologies in our schools. A few years ago, January, Little John and her husband discovered that their daughter's school had secretly, socially transitioned their 13-year-old little girl. Teachers and administrators conspired to deceive January and her husband while encouraging her daughter to use a new name and pronouns. They, them pronoun, actually. All without telling January, who is here tonight and is now a courageous advocate against this form of child abuse. January, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Classic.
Thank you. Stories like this are why, shortly after taking office, I signed an executive order banning public schools from indoctrinating our children with transgender ideology. I also signed an order to cut off all taxpayer funding to any institution that engages in the sexual mutilation of our youth. And now I want Congress to pass a bill permanently banning and criminalizing sex changes on children and forever ending the lie that any child is trapped in the wrong body. This is a big lie. And our message to every child in America is that you are perfect exactly the way God made you.
Unless God made you trans. Unless God made you trans, then bye-bye.
Because we're getting wokeness out of our schools and out of our military, and it's already out, and it's out of our society. We don't want it. Wokeness is trouble. Wokeness is bad. It's gone. It's gone. And we feel so much better for it, don't we? Don't we feel better? Our service members won't be activists and ideologues. They will be fighters and warriors. They will fight for our country. And Pete, congratulations. Secretary of Defense, congratulations. And he's not big into the woke movement, I can tell you. I know him well. I am pleased to report that in January, the U.S. Army had its single best recruiting month in 15 years, and that all armed services are having among the best recruiting results ever in the history of our services. What a difference. And you know, it was just a few months ago where the results were exactly the opposite. We couldn't recruit anywhere. We couldn't recruit. Now we're having the best results just about that we've ever had. What a tremendous turnaround. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People love our country again. It's very simple. They love our country, and they love being in our military again. So it's a great thing, and thank you very much. Great job. Thank you. We're joined tonight by a young man, Jason Hartley, who knows the weight of that call of duty. Jason's father, grandfather, and great-grandfather all wore the uniform. Jason tragically lost his dad, who was also a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy when he was just a boy, and now he wants to carry on the family legacy of service. Jason is a senior in high school, a 6-letter varsity athlete, a really good athlete, they say, a brilliant student with a 4.46, that's good, GPA. And his greatest dream is to attend the U.S. Military Academy at West Point.
They're so cooked, bro. The American military is so cooked. They have to parade like individuals, basically, to be like, see, we got one.
Jason, that's a very big deal.
We got a new recruit.
That's a hard one to get into, but
also, cop phrenology is real. Cop phrenology is a real science.
Accepted. You will soon be joining the Corps of Cadets.
Someone in the chat said the only public service celebrated is violence, and that was a banger, chatter. Respect. You're right. Every other aspect of public service is gutted, and the only thing that they stand and salute is like military or cops. They're like, yeah, we love the cops, we love the military. No other. Every other public servant is like watching this being like, am I going to lose my fucking job?
Jason, as Commander-in-Chief, my focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. As a first step, I'm asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
No way. No fucking way.
Ronald Reagan wanted to do it long ago, but the technology just wasn't there, not even close. But now we have the technology. It's incredible, actually. And other places, they have it. Israel has it. Other places have it.
Who else?
And the United States should have it too, right, Tim, right? They should have it too.
Yeah, when Canada starts launching bathtub rockets at us. When Bloc Québécois and the liberation movement starts launching bathtub rockets directly at Albany.
resurrect the American shipbuilding industry, including commercial shipbuilding and military shipbuilding. And for that purpose, I am announcing tonight that we will create a new Office of Shipbuilding in the White House.
Does Trump not realize that America has defense systems?
To America, where it belongs. We used to make so many ships. We don't make them anymore very much, but we're going to make them very fast, very soon. It will have a huge impact. To further enhance our national security, my administration will be reclaiming the Panama Canal, and we've already started doing it.
Wait, what? He's going to rename the Panama Canal? Wait, what?
Just today, a large American company announced they are buying
reclaiming
ports around the Panama Canal and lots of other things having to do with the Panama Canal and a couple of other canals. The Panama Canal was built by Americans for Americans, not for others. But
not
others
for
could
people
use
in
it.
Panama.
But it was built at tremendous cost of American blood and treasure. 38,000 workers died building the Panama Canal. They died of malaria. They died of snake bites and mosquitoes. Not a nice place to work. They paid them very highly to go there, knowing there was a 25% chance that they would die. The most expensive project also that was ever built in our country's history, if you bring it up to modern day costs. It was given away by the Carter administration for $1, but that agreement has been violated very severely. We didn't give it to China. We gave it to Panama, and we're taking it back. And we have Marco Rubio in charge. Good luck, Marco. Now, we know who to blame if anything goes wrong. Marco's been amazing, and he's going to do a great job. Think of it. He got 100 votes. You know, he was approved with actually 99, but the 100th was this gentleman, and I feel very certain. So let's assume he got 100 votes. And I'm either very, very happy about that or I'm very concerned about it. But he's already proven. I mean, he's a great gentleman. He's respected by everybody, and we appreciate you voting for Marco. He's going to do a fantastic job. Thank you. Thank you. He's doing a great job. Great job. And I also have a message tonight for the incredible people of Greenland. We strongly support your right to determine your own future. And if you choose, we welcome you into the United States of America.
Oh, they're doing, are they going to do a PSYOP?
National security and even international security.
Wait, maybe
working with everybody.
Maybe they are going to do manufactured consent.
Really for international world security.
Talk about how like the indigenous population of Greenland actually wants decolonialization by joining America or some shit.
We will keep you safe. We will make you rich, and together.
Color revolution in Greenland.
To heights like you have.
How is he going to do it though? He cut U.S. aid.
It's a very small population, but very, very large piece of land, and very, very important for military security. America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Perhaps the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice. And I want to thank especially the government of Pakistan for helping arrest this monster. This was a very momentous day for those 13 families who I actually got to know very well, most of them, whose children were murdered, and the many people that were so badly, over 42 people, so badly injured on that fateful day in Afghanistan. What a horrible day. Such incompetence was shown that when Putin saw what happened, I guess he said, wow, maybe this is my chance. That's how bad it was. Should have never happened. Grossly incompetent people. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call.
Someone said rare Pakistan W and Asmongold chat.
Everybody was on the line, and
W Pakistan.
They did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances. Their child, brother, sister, son, daughter was killed for no reason whatsoever. In the Middle East,
Dems are walking out. Started with Bernie, then Van Hollen, now a lot more.
In my first term, we achieved one of the most groundbreaking peace agreements in generations, the Abraham Accords.
Woodcock, my goat.
And now we're going to build on that foundation to create a more peaceful and prosperous future for the entire region. A lot of things are happening in the Middle East. People have been talking about that so much lately with everything going on with Ukraine and Russia. But a lot of things are happening in the Middle East. It's a rough neighborhood.
A lot of things.
I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes.
What the fuck?
$2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop. Meanwhile, Europe has sadly spent more money buying Russian oil and gas than they have spent on defending Ukraine, by far. Think of that. They've spent more buying Russian oil and gas than they have defending. And we've spent perhaps $350 billion, like taking candy from a baby. That's what happened. And they've spent $100 billion. What a difference that is. And we have an ocean separating us, and they don't. But we're getting along very well with them, and lots of good things are happening. Biden has authorized more money in this fight than Europe has spent, by billions and billions of dollars. It's hard to believe that they wouldn't have stopped it and said at some point, come on, let's equalize. You got to be equal to us. But that didn't happen. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago, Simultaneously, we've had serious discussions with Russia and have received strong signals that they are ready for peace. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? Wouldn't that be beautiful? It's time to stop this madness. It's time to halt the killing. It's time to end this senseless war. If you want to end wars, you have to talk to both sides. Nearly 4 years ago, amid rising tensions, a history teacher named Mark Fogel was detained in Russia and sentenced to 14 years in a penal colony. Rough stuff. The previous administration barely lifted a finger to help him. They knew he was innocent, but they had no idea where to begin.
That's crazy.
But last summer, I promised his 95-year-old mother, Malphine,
she looks great for 95, by the way. God damn.
Safely back home. After 22 days in office, I did just that, and they are here tonight.
God damn. Bro, get her a job in Congress. What do you mean? She looks sprier than half of Congress, dude, at 95. Gam. Social Security fraudster in 5 years. We're gonna cut our Social Security so good.
To Mark and his great mom, we are delighted to have you safe and sound and with us. As fate would have it, Mark Fogel was born in a small rural town in Butler, Pennsylvania. Have you heard of it? Where his mother has lived for the past 78 years. I just happened to go there last July 13th for a rally. That was not pleasant. And that is where I met his beautiful mom right before I walked onto that stage. And I told her I would not forget what she said about her son. And I never did I? Never forgot. Less than 10 minutes later, at that same rally, gunfire rang out, and a sick and deranged assassin unloaded 8 bullets from his sniper's perch into a crowd of many thousands of people. My life was saved by a fraction of an inch, but some were not so lucky. Corey Comparator was a firefighter, a veteran, a Christian, a husband, a devoted father, and above all, a protector. When the sound of gunshots pierced the air, it was a horrible sound. Corey knew instantly what it was and what to do. He threw himself on top of his wife and daughters and shielded them from the bullets with his own body. Corey was hit really hard. You know the story from there. He sacrificed his life to save theirs.
He's so weird, dude.
Others,
he cannot talk about this shit normal.
But thankfully,
Corey was hit really hard, like
country doctors.
There's something wrong with him.
Gone and they were saved. So those doctors had great talent. We're joined by Corey's wife, Helen, who was his high school sweetheart, and their 2 beloved daughters, Allison and Kaylee. Thank you.
Butler, Pennsylvania is so flat, like Ukraine. The only thing that can stop a bullet is a person's body. The beautiful domes of Butler will shine again when I call for a ceasefire in Butler, Pennsylvania. Just like Ukraine. The weird guy.
To Helen, Allison, and Kaylee, Corey is looking down on his 3 beautiful ladies right now, and he is cheering you on. He loves you. He is cheering you on. Corey was taken from us much too soon, but his destiny was to leave us all with a shining example of the selfless devotion of a true American patriot. It was love like Corey's that
is the girl in the middle
built our
lived up?
country, and it's
Nah.
love like Corey's that is going to make our country more majestic than
I don't think
ever
so.
before.
I don't think
I believe that my life
you
was
can't
saved
tell
that
any
day in
longer.
Butler.
The only thing you
For a
can tell
very
is
good
when
reason.
Trump supporters have
I
a
was
specific
saved
type of
by
makeup.
God to make America great again. I believe that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. From the patriots of Lexington and Concord to the heroes of Gettysburg and Normandy, from the warriors who crossed the Delaware to the trailblazers who climbed the Rockies, and from the legends who soared at Kitty Hawk to the astronauts who touched the moon, Americans have always been the people who defied all odds, transcended all dangers, made the most extraordinary sacrifices, and did whatever it took.
I'm a commie and I find it rude to downplay this Corey guy's death. Wait, what? I didn't say. I wasn't downplaying his death. I'm making fun of Donald Trump.
That same strength
And the way he
faith, love,
talks
and
about
spirit
it.
is still alive and thriving in the hearts of the American
He's so
people.
fucking rude and disrespectful,
Despite the
even when he's
best
supposed to be
efforts of those
showing
who would try
support.
to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free, and we will fight for it till death. We will never let anything happen to our beloved country, because we are a country of doers, dreamers, fighters, and survivors. Our ancestors
I think he's
crossed
wrapping
a
it up.
vast ocean,
Surprisingly, no mention of
strode
Israel.
into
Like,
the
he barely
unknown
mentioned
wilderness
Israel.
and carved their fortunes from the rock and soil of a perilous and very dangerous frontier.
I've never heard a commie say as a
They
commie.
chased
Yeah, that person
our
was not a
destiny
commie, but I don't really
across
give a
a
shit.
boundless continent. They built the railroads, laid the highways, and graced the world with American marvels like the Empire State
No,
Building,
I know when
the
he's wrapping up.
mighty
This is his like wrap
Hoover
up
Dam,
portion.
and the towering Golden Gate Bridge. They lit the world with electricity, broke free of the force of gravity, fired up the engines of American industry, and vanquished the communists, fascists, and Marxists all over the world, and gave us countless modern wonders sculptured out of iron, glass, and steel.
We are the worst
We stand
country,
on the
bro.
shoulders
We are such
of
a
these
bad
pioneers
country.
who won and built the modern age. These workers who poured their sweat into the skylines of our cities. These warriors who shed their blood on fields of battle and gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. Now it is our time to take up the righteous cause of American liberty. And it is our turn to take America's destiny into our own hands and begin the most thrilling days in the history of our country. This will be our greatest era. With God's help, over the next 4 years, we are going to lead this nation even higher, and we are going to forge the freest, most advanced, most dynamic, and most dominant civilization ever to exist on the face of this earth. We are going to create the highest quality of life, build the safest and wealthiest and healthiest and most vital communities anywhere in the world. We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we're going to...
This stuff is so boring because he tries to sound like a old school politician, like a JFK, and it's always like, come on, dude. To infinity and far beyond. It's like, okay, dude, we know. We know how you are, okay? We know how you be. We know how you operate. That was so ass, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This was a...
We are going to rediscover the unstoppable power of the American spirit.
This is so...
And we are going to
boring.
renew unlimited promise of the American dream. Every single day we will stand up and we will fight, fight, fight for the country our citizens believe in and for the country our people deserve.
God, I hate Lauren Boebert so much.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun. It will be like nothing that has ever been seen before.
Bitch.
Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
I told you he was wrapping it up, dude. I know his speech patterns.
Trump
Like
concluding what we believe is the longest speech of this type. Major Congress.
Apolitical Hasan would say, "Good speech. He became president tonight." Well, I'll let Lester Holt do the talk in that regard.
So some moments I think many would agree probably weren't helpful, including those protests we saw early by some Democratic members.
Yeah. That's the unhelpful part. The Democrats protesting
at the bequest of the speaker.
And the president talking about his agenda, talked about the tariffs that, of course, have just gone into effect this week.
Wrap it up.
It's certainly doubled down on that strategy and said indicated there would be more to come. Talked about foreign policy, and it appeared that he is ready to move forward with Ukraine, but talked a lot about Ukraine and Russia and getting a peace deal, something that is very much at the top of mind. And then a lot of the cultural issues, a lot of time spent on some of the more controversial federal programs that he says his Department of Government Efficiency is cutting. So a wide-ranging and, as mentioned, the longest speech ever in the State of the Union or a joint address. So he now holds the top spot there. Just go to Kristen Welker for your thoughts.
Savannah, I was struck by the fact that after that rocky start, when Congressman Al Green was removed for jeering at him, this really became a speech about cultural issues, a culture war speech, if you will. And he spent about 20 minutes on it. It took him 20 minutes to talk about the top issue for voters, which is, by the way, the economy. He also talked about immigration, the environment, government censorship, all of those things. A couple of headlines. You talked about tariffs. That's obviously a huge issue because there's a lot of concern among some Republicans that the tariffs that he's imposed against Mexico and Canada and China could drive up prices. He acknowledged, quote, there will be a little disturbance and it will require a little adjustment. That is significant. That's the furthest that he's ever leaned into that. On foreign policy, he announced that the top terrorist responsible for the Abbey Gate bombing is being flown to the U.S., is going to face justice. And notably on Ukraine, I thought that was one of the biggest headlines of the night after that explosive Oval Office meeting. The president seeming to indicate some progress has been made. President Zelensky sending him a note indicating he
Bernie
wants
Sanders
to make
is going to respond
on that
in a little
deal,
bit
which is seen
to Trump's
as
address.
The first step, and saying that he'd had some significant
Look at how beautiful Vermont
with the
looks.
Russians as well. He said it would be beautiful to get a deal. So I think those are some of the significant headlines. But again, so notable that he
He's not
began this
live
speech
yet.
really focused on those culture war issues, and reminder that that's part of.
Bro, let me tell you something, okay? This Trump speech was basically just a rally. And just like every other Trump rally, it was so perfectly chock full of idiotic nonsense that doesn't actually help anybody and simply harms some of the more vulnerable populations that exist within the boundaries of the United States of America.
Is through the
And
concept of
it
the
played
big
a
lie,
role
and boy,
of
did we hear
distraction.
that tonight.
Let's get to Bernard
Say
Sanders.
something that is grossly false, say it over and over again, and have right-wing social media blast it out endless times until people actually believe it. And then, rather than address the real issues facing the American people, the struggles that the American people are facing, we find ourselves wasting endless amounts of time discussing Trump's absurdities. Let me just give you a very few examples. Trump claimed that the 2020 election was stolen from him and that he won by a landslide. Remember that? A lie. Trump claimed that the January 6th insurrection was a day of love. A lie. Trump has claimed that millions of undocumented people
It's bedtime, bro.
and do vote in American elections. A lie.
Let
Trump
this
has
man
claimed that
sleep,
climate
man.
change
Oh
is a
my God,
hoax
I feel bad.
originating in China. A lie. Trump has claimed that Ukraine started the horrific war with Russia. A lie. And tonight, just tonight, Trump claimed that millions of dead people
lie.
between the ages of 100 and 360, I guess, were collecting Social Security checks. And that is an outrageous lie intended to lay the groundwork for cuts to Social Security and dismantling the most successful and popular government program in history. So let's be clear about that. Well over 99% of Social Security checks are going out to people who earned those checks. 70 million Americans. Nobody who was 150 years old or 200 years old or 300 years old is receiving Social Security checks. And on the lies go. Now, the purpose of all of this lying is not just to push his hateful right-wing ideology. It is not just to try to divide us up. It is more than that. It is a masterful effort, and you saw that tonight, to deflect attention away from the most important issues facing the people of our country. Issues that Trump and his billionaire friends do not want to address because it is not in their financial interests to do so. Trump gave his State of the Union speech tonight. But if you listen closely, that speech had very little to say about the State of the Union, about what is really going on in our country, especially for working families. Trump spoke for over 90 minutes, although I must confess it seemed a lot longer than that, and he almost completely ignored the issues that are keeping working people up at night as they worry about how their families are going to survive in these very tough times. And I will tell you exactly why Trump had very little to say about the real crises facing the working class of this country. Think back 6 weeks ago when Trump was inaugurated for his second term as president, just 6 weeks ago. Standing right behind him were the three wealthiest men in this country, Mr. Musk, Mr. Bezos, and Mr. Zuckerberg. And standing behind them were 13 other billionaires who Trump had nominated to head major government agencies. Many of these same billionaires, including Musk, were in the Capitol tonight listening to that speech. In other words, it is there for all to see. The Trump administration is not hiding it. The Trump administration is a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, and for the billionaire class. Notwithstanding some of their rhetoric, this is a government that could care less about ordinary Americans and the working families of our country. My friends, we are no longer moving toward oligarchy. We are living in an oligarchic society. Now let's take a moment and try to escape from Trump's parallel universe, the universe that you heard tonight. And let's do something really, really radical. Let's actually take a hard look at the problems that Americans are facing. Today, 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Unlike Trump, I grew up in a family that lived paycheck to paycheck, and I know something about that reality. It means that every day, millions of Americans worry about how they're going to pay their rent, pay for childcare, pay for a doctor's visit when they get sick. They worry about what happens when their car breaks down and they can't afford the $1,000 it costs to get it fixed. And what happens when they can't get to work because they don't have a car. They worry about how they can afford to buy healthy food for their kids when the price of food is off the charts. Funny? I heard Trump speaking for 90 minutes tonight. I didn't hear one word from him about the economic reality facing 60% of our people, or the enormous stress that they are living under. 90-minute speech, not one word about the economic reality facing American workers. But that's not all. Today
AOC
in America,
is live as well.
Everyone knows that our healthcare system is broken. It is dysfunctional, and it is outrageously expensive. We remain the only wealthy nation on earth not to guarantee health care for all.
I just
Mr. President,
felt
you really want to make America great again? Then make sure that
I
every
didn't feel
American.
like I could.
Let's hear what AOC has to say. I've heard Bernie Sanders. He's saying the same stuff he's been saying.
That being said, you know, I know different people had different takes on it. In terms of the House of Representatives, you know, I'll give you an alternative perspective. In terms of the House of Representatives, you know, some people feel, and it is true, that the State of the Union occurs in the House of Representatives, known as the People's House. And technically, in terms of the proceedings of the State of the Union, an interesting thing about the House is that it is different from almost every other chamber in that only House members are typically allowed in the House of Representatives. So
I'm not gonna lie. I
anybody
mean,
else that is brought
before
into
people
the
say, "Oh,
House
AOC's weak"
that
or
walks into
whatever,
the
I
House
mean,
has to be invited. And,
virtually everyone is
and
just
so Trump
doing their
actually has
best,
to
but
be
not very
formally
strong
invited
against Trump
to the
at this
House
point.
floor in order to be allowed into the House floor. Same thing with all those senators and the cabinet members, etc. So, you know, I think other people had a certain logic, which is that this is the people's house, and Trump showing up should not kind of force the duly elected representatives of that chamber, especially those who disagree with him, out. So, you know, that was that's some of the perspective there. Anyways, I watched from home, and if you did, if you didn't, honestly, and I listen to Trump. I do, because he has won 2 presidential elections. Now, the first one was not by popular vote, and the second vote, he has not won more than 50% of the U.S. electorate, but he has won these elections nevertheless. So I listen to him. I listen to what he says.
Then they should.
As an observer.
During his speech tonight, Trump did not have one word to say about how we are going to address the planetary crisis of climate change. The last 10 years, as most Americans know, have been the warmest ever recorded, and extreme weather disturbances and natural disasters have been taking place all over the world, from California to India, across Europe to North Carolina. And yet, not surprisingly, Trump had nothing to say about climate change except, I guess, drill, baby, drill. Well, that's going to help a whole lot. And let's be clear. Not only did Trump fail to talk about some of the most important issues facing the working class of America, but the solutions, in quote, he proposed would only make a bad situation even worse. Yep, I did hear Trump talk tonight about some tax breaks for working families in terms of not taxing tips, not taxing Social Security, and not taxing overtime. Fine. But that is chump change compared to the benefits he's going to give to the 1%, and it doesn't tell the whole story about his tax policies. According to a recent study by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy, If all of Trump's so-called America
We can't have the
First
top
policies
people that are
enacted,
resisting
including
Donald Trump
his tariffs,
and the
which we
Democratic
spoke a lot
Party
about tonight.
be people
bottom
like Bernie Sanders. No
95% of
disrespect to
Americans
Bernard,
will
but
see their taxes
he's
go
so
up,
old.
while the richest 5% in our country will see their taxes go down, way down. Tonight, in so many words, Trump urged Congress to pass his big, beautiful budget. Do you know what's really in it? This budget would cut Medicaid by $880 billion. Oh, I guess Trump forgot to talk about that. $880 billion cut in Medicaid. According to one estimate, it means that up to 36 million Americans, including millions of children, would be thrown off the health insurance they have. Hey, a 90-minute speech tonight, not one word about throwing millions of kids off of the health insurance they have. When you cut Medicaid drastically, it means that nursing homes that receive 2/3 of their funding from Medicaid will either have to shut down, lay off workers, or significantly scale back the services they provide.
I do want to hear Elisa Slotkin's retort here. This is what the Democratic response
No
is.
oversight, no protections
Just for a
against
brief
cyber
moment.
attack, no guardrails on what they do with your private data. We need a more efficient government. You want to cut waste? I'll help you do it. But change doesn't need to be chaotic or make us less
I'm Brian,
safe.
kill me.
The mindless
Brian, kill
firing of
me.
people who work to protect our nuclear weapons, keep our planes from crashing, and
I
conduct
love
the
cutting
research that
government
finds the
waste.
cure for
I'm a
cancer,
Democrat.
only to rehire them 2 days later.
I'm a Democrat,
No
and I love
CEO in
cutting government
America could do
waste.
that without being
Please, I
summarily
love firing
Okay,
federal.
so we've talked about economic security.
I love
How about
firing federal workers. Just give me the job.
Let's
I'm
start with the
Elisa
border.
Slotkin.
As someone who spent my whole career protecting our homeland, every country deserves to know who and what is coming across its border. Period. Democrats and Republicans should all be for that.
Oh my God.
But securing the border without actually fixing our broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom and not the disease. America is a nation of immigrants. We need a functional system keyed to the needs of our economy that allows vetted people to come and work here legally. So I look forward to the president's plan on that. Because here's the thing. Today's world is deeply interconnected. Migration, cyber threats, AI, environmental destruction, terrorism. One nation cannot face these issues alone. We need friends in all corners, and our safety depends on it. President Trump loves to say peace through strength. That's actually a line he stole from Ronald Reagan. But let me tell you, after the spectacle that just took place in the Oval Office last week, Reagan must be rolling in his grave.
I hope he
We
is.
all want an end to the war
He's
in
the devil. Why would a former CIA agent hype up Ronald Reagan?
Combine
Fuck
our
Ronald
military
Reagan.
and
Ronald Reagan
economic
can
might
suck my dick.
Moral clarity.
Fuck you.
And that scene in the Oval Office wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV.
Oh no, Ronald Reagan is rolling his grave. I piss on his
Full
grave.
approach to
What the
the world.
fuck's wrong with this person?
He believes in cozying up to dictators like Vladimir Putin and kicking our friends like the Canadians in the teeth. He sees American leadership as merely a
liberals
series
probably
of real
love
estate
this shit,
transactions.
dude.
As a Cold War kid, I'm thankful it was Reagan and not Trump in office in the 1980s. Trump would have lost us the Cold War. Donald Trump's actions suggest that in his heart, he doesn't believe we're an exceptional nation. He clearly doesn't think we should lead the world. Look, America is not perfect, but I stand with the majority of Americans who believe we are still exceptional, unparalleled. And I would rather have American leadership over Chinese or Russian leadership any day of the week. Because for generations, America has offered something better. Our security and our prosperity, yes, but our democracy, our very system of government.
If she doesn't bring up Medicaid cuts, I'm done. I can't say what I'm thinking because I will get banned again instantly. Okay. I don't care about American hegemonic power. No, stop. No one cares about foreign policy. Please just talk about cost of living.
Let it happen.
Please talk about the egg prices.
But it's also at risk. When the
Talk about the
president
egg prices,
puts
you
Americans
fucking
up
idiot.
against each
Talk
other.
about the egg prices. Talk about federal employees getting fired. Talk about the evisceration of the last bastion of middle class jobs with good benefits. Please talk about SNAP. Talk about Medicaid. Anything.
those rights and the fight for them make us.
She's
who
like, we gotta do NATO.
We're a nation of
August
strivers,
Jack.
risk takers, innovators, and we are never satisfied. That is America's superpower. And look, I've lived and worked in many countries. I've seen democracies flicker out. I've seen what life is like when a government is rigged. You can't open a business without paying off a corrupt official. You can't criticize the guys in charge without getting a knock at the door in the middle of the night. So as much as we need to make our government more responsive to our lives today, don't for one moment fool yourself that democracy isn't precious and worth saving. But how do we actually do that? I know a lot of you have been asking that question. First, don't tune out. It's easy to be exhausted, but America needs you now more than ever. If previous generations had not fought for this democracy, where would we be today? Second, hold your elected officials, including me, accountable. Watch how they're voting. Go to town halls and demand they take action. That's as American as apple pie. Third, organize. Pick just one issue you're passionate about and engage. And doom scrolling doesn't count. Join a group that cares about your issue and act. And if you can't find one, start one. Some of the most important movements in our history have come from the bottle up. In closing,
Bottle
we
up.
all know that our country is going through something right now. We're not sure what the next day is going to
Yeah,
hold.
organize so we can fucking yell at you when you demand we do stuff.
First time we've experienced significant
Organize
and
like the Black
tumultuous
Lives
change
Matter
as a
movement so that we can
I'm a
fucking
student of history.
humiliate you every step of the way and tell you you are not getting any of your
And
demands.
ultimately, we've chosen to keep changing this country for the better. But every single time, we've only gotten through those moments because of two things.
Organize.
Engaged citizens,
Organize so I, former CIA agent, can infiltrate your movement and and put you in jail.
and principled leaders who are ready to
Organize.
receive the
Oops,
ball
don't
and
organize in
do
a
something
radical
about it.
socialist kind of way.
So thank you tonight for caring about your country. Just by watching, you qualify as engaged citizens. And I promise that I and my
Organize
fellow
like the student protesters in my state that went to jail.
to be the principled leaders that you deserve. Good night, everyone.
Bro, okay, here's the thing, okay? This was a classic, well-spoken, boring ass, I want to do homework ass Democratic speech, okay? Donald Trump is over there juggling on stage, okay? He's doing tricks. He's like pulling up flashcards. He's got pizzazz. He's like, we're going to kill every transgender Guatemalan migrant. And here is a victim of transgender Guatemalan migrant crime. Okay. He's dumbing down the rhetoric. One, because he's dumb. And two, because, I mean, he's a television guy. Okay. Meanwhile, Democrats are like, I want to cut government. I hate wasteful spending in the federal government. Do not concede on your opponent's framing, okay? Do not do that. Do not do that. Do not ever do that. Why are you doing that? Why are you handing it to the Republicans? What's wrong with you? It's like, I just don't understand it.
Of hiding under the covers. The stakes are just too high. Let us never forget, real change only occurs when ordinary people stand up by the millions against oppression and injustice and fight back. That is the history of the founding of our nation, when brave men and women took on the mighty, invincible British Empire. It is the history of the abolitionist movement, the history of the labor movement, the history of the civil rights movement, the women's movement, the environmental movement, and the gay rights movement. Yes.
Bernie's woke and gay.
The oligarchs are enormously powerful. I deal with them every day. I know that. Yes, they have endless amounts of money. Yes, they control our economy. and they own much of the media. They have enormous influence over our political system. But from the bottom of my heart, I am convinced
Bernie was there when the American Revolution happened. Put some respect on it.
If we stand together and not let them divide us up by the color of our skin or where we were born or our religion or the language we speak or our sexual orientation. If we bring our people together around an agenda that works for the many and not just the few, there is nothing in the world that can stop us. We can win. We will win. Let us go forward together. Thank you all very much.
How is this, like, I'm sorry. I love Bernie, but god damn, we got like the only coherent response is coming from an 800-year-old man. Like,
lost and defeated by Donald Trump.
It's
Today,
just-
it looks to me like they're even more lost and even more defeated than when this speech started.
Well, there was a clear juxtaposition. So I thought
I hate this asshole. I hate that CNN just brings him on to just gloat about how sick the Republicans are over and over again.
we saw the theatrics tonight in the chamber are not being well received. And as we saw recently at the DNC candidate forum, it didn't sound like that. It didn't sound like pocketbook issues. It didn't sound like saying, my neighbors might support Trump, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person. They continually elevate people who are leaning, as Republicans have, but into the name calling, into the demonizing and filing articles of impeachment a few weeks in. If Democrats talk like Alyssa Slotkin, they're going to win the
maybe
midterm.
they'll save that. I don't know.
Certainly,
I think that-
people don't. So just 1 second. Certainly, people who don't like name calling would have gravitated to the president's speech tonight.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
like it
I
on
just
either
think that they're
They're talking about the optics.
like Donald Trump just gave a campaign speech in the joint address. It was not a unifying speech, and I don't really think that a lot of people want that version of what Alyssa Slotkin just gave. I think we're past that. in
Damn,
our
they're
country.
ripping
I
into
don't know
Alyssa
if I
Slotkin.
like it or
Okay.
not. Maybe we could. She started her telling her personal story working for a Democrat and a Republican, growing up in a household, with Democrat and a Republican, winning a district, Democrat and Republican. But that you wouldn't know that from Donald Trump's speech tonight. He's not talking Democrat and Republicans. I'm not going to say what the Democrats did with tonight was, it didn't feel like a cohesive strategy, walking out, staying in, paddles, whatever.
Bad.
That was not how you land the plane. But I do think she laid out the issues that are important to people, and she told people what to do. I don't think this problem, honestly, in the Democratic Party is going to be solved in Washington, D.C. It's going to be solved in the middle of the country, in the South, where people are going to organize together and tell the party what they want and the direction they want to go.
Let's bring in Doug Brinkley into our conversation, presidential historian. Doug, it is unprecedented. It's not just in the length of the speech that we just watched from the president. Now we, of course, just saw the Democratic rebuttal from Senator Slotkin, but it was also the disarray among the Democratic response. And how unprecedented was this moment that we just sat through? Anybody who sat through and watched the entire thing?
I think President Trump did what he needed to do. But as Senator Slotkin just pointed out, the economic issues weren't really talked about. I mean, the big concern right now is Medicaid and Medicare, Social Security, what Trump's going to do. The fact that Wall Street is just diving right now, if he refuses to budge on these tariffs, the chance of the matter is you're going to start losing momentum. But Trump seemed relaxed. He had I think, a better night than the Democrats. They were like just, I guess, everybody left to their own. I mean, Senator Wyden made right to stay in Oregon and do town halls. However, Slotkin pulled a rabbit out of her hat. That was a very brilliant, relaxed response. And Andy Bashir and her should be the voices, I think, coming from the heartland of America. And I think Donald Trump left farmers from the speech a little bit out of it in a way that he needed to address them as a group in a more upbeat way instead of saying suffer some more pain, it'll be slow.
Well, when it started out, so anybody watching at the beginning, there was that complete sort of that chaotic moment. And Al Green is stabbing his cane into the air, and then it appears to be over something with Medicaid. And
I'm willing to bet every single normal human actually likes what Al Green did, and the Democrats are going to make it seem like he was really fucked up for doing so.
A moment like that, I mean, we talk about the "you
Yeah,
lie."
Al Green demonstrated courage. Yes, he waved his fucking cane around and was screaming about Medicaid. Okay, that's what every Democrat should be doing. The fuck is wrong with these people? Every Democrat should be standing up and being like, "You want to cut Medicaid over my fucking dead body?" Okay, yeah, he was awesome. He was dope. That's my expectation. Why the fuck is it an 800-year-old man from Houston that is leading the charge here and virtually alone? Not the I'm back and apolitical now. Okay, no longer am I apolitical, okay? Fuck civility. What do you mean? It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Democrats can score points on.
All right. Well, Doug, just coming back here to the group here, David, when we were discussing, what percent, someone can go through and parse what percent he talked about social issues versus not. There was a lot of social issues, right? There was a lot of wokeness. Wokeness is dead. Wokeness is gone.
Yeah, this is a good take.
Also trying to
Here's the thing. If you think Trump is a fascist like Hitler was, then you have to accept that this is a ridiculous thing to do. In response to Hitler's policies, some members of the German left party wore purple hats. Do you see how stupid that sounds?
From the president.
Meanwhile, we have hundreds of thousands of federal workers who have not been showing up to work. My administration will reclaim power from this unaccountable bureaucracy, and we will restore true democracy to America again. And any federal bureaucrat who resists this change will be removed from office immediately. Because we are draining the swamp. It's very simple. And the days of rule by unelected bureaucrats are over.
Yeah, I didn't see Elon Musk standing and cheering for that. Listen, I think that the president met his probably many of his political imperatives. He touched all the hot buttons that he touched during the campaign, and particularly on, anybody can get a cheer by saying, I want to cut government bureaucracy, I want to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. It's when you get into the details of what you're cutting that it gets stickier. And certainly there's a strong feeling in this country about immigration and the border, and I thought he leaned into that. Some of the social hot buttons, I said earlier, there's no doubt that, it scores noise. Scott calls that common sense, and I'm sure he scored with that. But the biggest single issue facing people in their lives is the economy, and what we've seen is that still 75% of the people think the economy is fair or poor.
Here's the interview Al Green gave to C-SPAN after getting kicked out. Okay, fuck all this noise. Let's take a look at what he did. Okay.
Sir, what were you shouting to the president?
The president said he had a mandate. And I was making it clear to the president that he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. I have people who are very fearful. These are poor people, and they have only Medicaid in their lives when it comes to their health care. And I want him to know that his budget calls for deep cuts in Medicaid. He needs to save Medicaid, protect it. We need to raise the cap on Social Security. There's a possibility that it's going to be hurt, and we've got to protect Medicare. These are the safety net programs that people in my congressional district depend on. And this president seems to care less about them.
I love that.
And more about the number of people that he can remove from the various programs that have been so helpful to so many people. It is the best way to get it across to a person who uses his incivility against our civility. He is a person who has consistently been used incivility against civility.
So do you think have no mandate? Is that what you said?
Well, look, I'm willing to suffer whatever punishment is available to me. I didn't say to anyone, don't punish me.
Dude, Democrats are so desperate.
But it's worth.
Look, you see that? Dude, I'm telling you, the Democratic voter base, like liberals are so desperate for someone to just be like, fuck this shit. Okay, look at that. It has 40,000 likes. in 2 hours. I'm telling you right now, they need elected representatives to actually do elected representative shit. Okay? And sometimes, yes, that involves being a little disruptive. The base is so desperate for any sort of motion in the direction of actually resisting against Donald Trump, actually speaking out about the cruel nature of his policies, his administration's idiotic actions. What? Did Pop Save DM you again for another analysis? What? I have no idea what you're talking about.
To let people know that there are some of us who are going to stand up against this president's desire to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social
So
Security.
were you saying you have no mandate? Is that what you just said?
That's what he has no mandate to cut Medicaid. None.
Is the only punishment that you were kicked out, sir? Is there something?
I don't know. Whatever the punishment is, I'm not fighting the punishment. This is about the people who are being punished by virtue of losing their health care. This is the richest country in the world, and we have people who don't have good health care. We've got to do better. And now we're about to cut Medicaid, which is for poor people. Health care has become wealth care for many people, and we can't afford to let that happen.
Is that the only thing that you're protesting?
No, I have other things I'm protesting. And I'm also working on my articles of impeachment. This president is unfit. He should not hold the office. 34 felony convictions, 2 times impeached.
Sir, tell me one more time what you were shouting in the chamber.
That he has no mandate to cut Medicaid.
That's what you were.
That's my goat. That was great. That was great.
saying over and over. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. He said you have no mandate to cut Medicaid. And he's right. He's absolutely right.
No mandate.
He's right. It's a disastrous policy. Yeah, I saw this. Hakeem Jeffries, there's nothing we can do. I'm going on a book tour. Serbian parliament. Chaos in Serbian parliament as opposition sets off smoke grenades and tear gas to protest against the government. Like, look at that. Look at how good things could be. Just anything, dude. Literally anything. Just give me anything. Okay, maybe don't deploy smoke grenades because I feel like America can't deal with that, but isn't the Greenland statement the craziest takeaway? I mean, he kind of like backed down from saying he's going to take Greenland. He just said if Greenland wants to join us, they can. Which weirdly enough is like, I guess, nicer than saying we are going to forcibly take Greenland. Greenland is now ours. You know? Also, this would probably kill half of the I'm not going to say it. I'm like legitimately worried. I'm self-censoring now. I can't use analogies. I can't use the term KILL ever again because God forbid lives of TikTok in between calling for the execution of like doctors who administer HRT will take the time out to fucking complain about me, you know? And then XQC and Asmongold will make 8 YouTube videos being like, I can't believe Hasan would use such radical language again. So glad we legalized comedy. No, he's wrong. The president does, in fact, have a mandate for the American people to govern and do what they elected him to do. He won the Electoral College and won the popular vote. He literally has the mandate. No, but... Okay. If we're going to get down to the semantics of this point, he's not saying the president doesn't have the mandate to run the country. He's saying the president doesn't have the mandate to cut Medicaid. And as a matter of fact, he didn't run on cutting Medicaid. He ran on preserving Medicaid and Medicare. Okay? So what are we talking about? He's doing a bunch of stuff. He ran on, I don't know what Project 2025 is. And now he's doing Project 2025 to a T. Okay? Yeah. The video almost hit 1 million views in 24 hours. Probably been banned. My I got canceled video. I need to do more. We also have 3 branches of government. No, we don't. That's the other problem. Donald Trump is also eradicating all checks and balances. You should run for office to ensure you don't get held to such high standards. What? Dude, I'm not good at that. Okay? I'm not. I'm not good at that. I'm good at this. And it seems like I'm also kind of good at this as well. Apparently. I didn't realize I was good at this, but people really like it. So fucking stupid that Twitch bans people in response to complaining YouTube never does and no one cares. YouTubers cry about Twitch moderation while their platform does nothing about literal criminals. Yes. I know. That's why virtually everyone that complains about this stuff usually are like kick streamers, which is ironic. Kick streamers on the timeline being like, oh, this guy should have been banned for a year. And it's pretty funny. It's like, dude, you're on the pedophile platform. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Sit your ass down. I look, you want to see your face more instead of this head on the SM7B angle, but good vid. Read your editor's comment under the video. Yeah, I saw AustenOx. You got to do more of these types of videos. Load the format. Just give me more than a few hours to edit it next time. What's the problem, though? I think it's valid for Twitch to ban me. I'll say it. I mean, I have said it. Like, I got. It's very obvious that I wasn't calling for the assassination of a elected representative, and I think that the backlash is mostly inorganic for the most part, specifically due to the fact that everyone understood what I was saying. But, you know, I got clipped. I got clipped in a way where I think if I had used better language, if I didn't say kill, if I said like punished, you know, everyone would understand it. Or rather, people would have a harder time massaging this narrative. Respond to XCC? Why? The fuck would I respond to him for? Like, on what, dude? On what? What are you saying? Respond to XQC. XQC has a lot of takes on the fake State of the Union, on the joint congressional address that just took place. Can you please respond to him? XQC has a lot of takes on the tariffs. Please, just respond. My torture video, Boy and I did thing came out. Oh, so shit.
You see this car battery?
We tried CIA interrogation techniques. This finally came out. I see the known politics guy. Please respond to the known politics guy. I mean, wait, did they cut my part out because it was TOS too much? Oh, nope, they didn't. Oh, they did not cut my part out. Okay. W torture. Yeah, I saw the scum art. Juicer has takes on tort reform. Please respond. The real ban reason? What? How do you complain about Democrats being spineless and not push back on shit like your ban? You can't hand it to Twitch for censoring speech. I mean, dude, I get it, okay? I have a lot of haters. I have a lot of psychotic weirdos that actively make content around how much bandwidth Twitch gives me, okay? They Patreon baited the waterboarding? Oh my god. They show the lead up to your part in the video and the aftermath, but the 1 minute of your part is not in the video. That's crazy. Pork Boy called out Musk and Trump again. Gotta admit, this one didn't land quite, since Elon's basically the co-president. I think handing it to Twitch normalizes hate raids. It depends, dude. Obviously, it depends. Are you a left wing or right wing? I'm no wings, buddy. I'm apolitical. I'm the number one centrist, big dog. I'm trying not to get canceled again. The funniest thing was, like, some people were saying, like, they didn't understand that I was joking when I said I got canceled. They took it seriously. They were like, but you love cancel culture. It's like, you're an idiot. Okay. Like, how do you look at this?
What's up,
how do you look at this intro and think that this is like me being serious? Yeah, people are very stupid. Talking about your bandwidth, how's your bandwidth or gaming today? Dog, it's 10 hours in and I'm very tired. What is this? Lamau? Oh, this is exactly what I did, by the way. No, it is straight up. This was the method. Like, respect to Asmongold for showing me the way. The meta is I got canceled. And just like whine and moan about being canceled because people are yelling at you on Twitter. Of course, the difference is, like, if I did this, I would do it way more than Asmongold because I've been canceled way more than Asmongold. Okay. I was waiting for you to cover the drama in the video like a TikTok reply. Did you watch the Asmon Nazi video yet? No. Asmongold calls me a Nazi. Asmongold calling me a Nazi is pretty funny. I don't know if, like, that was a deliberate attempt at humor or what, but I do like that. I personally, Hasan, or no, he crossed the line. Asmon is a Nazi.
It's obvious that Twitch has.
I've legit never seen someone so pressed about viewership. 90% of Hasan's vitriol and criticism of Asmongold is coming from a place of pure, unfiltered jealousy. The only person calling Asmongold the number one political streamer is Hasan because he's the only one who cares. Dog, what are you talking about? Look at his videos. He only does... Trump announces massive investments, 28 minutes long. Zelensky's ready for Trump's mineral deal. 1 million views. Okay? I'm going to do this one more time. Hopefully people will understand. If I do this one more time, people will understand. Okay. Let's go to Ben Shapiro's channel. Now that we looked at also only 12K watching, lame, felled off. Okay. Ben Shapiro, what does Zelensky think he's doing? 32,000 views. Trump's State of the Union pledge, 174,000 views. Like, Asman is absolutely comstering and dumpstering Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro used to be the most prominent right-wing broadcaster, 7.2 million subscribers. Look at his view counts, and then look at Asmongold's view counts covering the same exact shit. That's it. Asmongold is 50 times larger than Ben Shapiro as a right-wing commentator. Why do people get so mad at this? Like, why? I truly don't understand how you don't recognize what I'm saying here. That's it. Ben Shapiro has fallen off. Asmongold has eaten his audience. It's just fact. Hasan, you have to make it clear to the idiots that you're saying this is the state of the right and not he's bigger than me. I don't think they care. I don't think they want to understand what I'm talking about. I'm saying Asmongold is not just the largest political content creator on Twitch. He is one of the largest political content creators in general. He is one of the largest right-wing commentators now. That is just the reality. It is the objective reality. Which is why I find it very strange when people are just like coping about a dude who spent 9 hours a day watching the same shit I was watching. How the fuck do we not, like, what does it take for someone to be like, okay, maybe he is political? Like, what? Is it truly because right-wingers don't understand that Asmongold agrees with them or has right-wing opinions, so they're like, that's not political? Mr. Vice President. Like, it's not political. I don't understand. I don't understand. It's not political because I agree with them. Like, what? Nah, he's not political, dude. It's just doing common sense. It's like, yeah, he is. He is doing politics, which is fine. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's so salty that Asman dethroned him as a top political streamer. I'm not. I think it's a state of affairs. It shows the state of affairs are dire. Because unlike Asmongold, I do care about politics, okay? And as someone who does care about politics, as someone who has a well-defined worldview, and is not just simply leaning on right-wing shit because it garners a lot of attention, I do care when a lot of people are like, oh, fuck yeah, finally, there's a right-wing content creator. I love that. Okay? Yeah, that makes me kind of salty. It has nothing to do with the fact that Asmongold is massive. If there was another socialist content creator who was larger than me, I would be excited at the prospect. Okay? When I first started my career, there were plenty of left-wing content creators who were much larger than me. All right? I don't think people understand that. I don't think people can comprehend that. I care about a political movement. Okay? I care about people not being reactionary weirdos. That's it. Yeah, also, Asmongold has always been bigger than me as a content creator in general on Twitch. This is not new. The problem now is not only is he bigger, but he's also, pumping a lot of right-wing content. Part of why they deny it is because they want to have the shield of he's not a real political commentator, but he is. And that is the reality. You don't have to be a real political commentator to do political commentary. As a matter of fact, that's my point, especially for the right wing, you unironically get a benefit when you're mostly talking about video game titties. Okay? Because that's also politics for a lot of the right-wing losers. But that's it. That's it. That is the thing. You can just kind of put out right-wing vibes and go, yeah, that's based over and over again over Donald Trump saying he's going to kill every Guatemalan transgender or whatever the fuck, right? And then people go, he's not a political commentator, but he's doing common sense. If I was Ben Shapiro, oh my God, I'd be so devastated. Okay? I would be so devastated. Ben Shapiro worked so long and so hard to basically get to the point that he got to. Okay? He worked so long and so hard to be the top right-wing content creator. Asman just reacts to political stuff and gives his opinions on things. Okay. Asman Gold and I spent the exact same amount of hours covering the exact same issues today. 9 hours. That's it. I am both Asman and HasanAbi fan, but watching Asman on politics is basically coming with an empty bowl and leaving with it empty. He has zero knowledge about history, geopolitics, or anything. He has nothing to add to the subject, just his personal, I think, opinions. Yeah, but it works. That's my point. That is an infinitely more successful way of doing political commentary than actually doing boring nerd shit. That's it. Asman Gold fans are saying what Jon Stewart fans said 20 years ago. Oh my God. Using the same, using Jon Stewart and Asman Gold. Asman Gold is this generation's Jon Stewart. Yeah. Also, Asman Gold gets more viewers doing politics than he does playing video games. So, you know, him and I are in the same boat. But you can be doing political commentary right now versus ranting about Asman Gold. Ironically enough, this is political commentary. Talking about the state of affairs in terms of right-wing political commentators and who the most successful right-wing political commentator is political commentary. Quite literally. It's meta commentary about political commentary. But for me, I think that this is more so just the state of affairs in general. This is just how it is. Can you pull up some anal, preferably hardcore, so I can farm some viewers again? No. Also, why anal and why preferably hardcore? You didn't just want me to pull up porn. Slack in response. Oh, H-Bizzle is here, our DSA operative. Or not DSA, sorry. DNC operative. Slotkin's response to Hervik, saying she will work with Trump to cut government is insane. Fucking moderate whites will always doom us all. On the other hand, Bernie is old and AOC is I don't know what. Is it militant enough for the base right now? Yes. The real meta is Al Green. What Al Green did, I think, Asman really hates being labeled as a right-wing commentator because he loves presenting his ideas as the normative perspective, which is ironically a very effective political strategy. Yes, this is not my fucking first rodeo with right-wing content creators claiming that they're fucking centrists and it's simply common sense. Oh, lo and behold, that's what every right-wing commentator does. That's why I keep repeating over and over again to these fucking idiots who refuse to understand. Who do you think, what do you think Tim Pool is? That's how Tim Pool started. That's how Dave Rubin started. It is the fucking blueprint of right-wing political commentary. That's how Joe Rogan started. That's how it works. No right-wing content creator will start off by being like, I'm a right-wing. If they do, they're just not going to be that good. They're not going to be that successful. Right-wing content creators like Jordan Peterson, like Dave Rubin, are unironically more effective when they say that they're not right-wing. Okay? Look at Jordan Peterson. The moment that they drop that and openly and actively say that they're right-wing content creators and right-wing commentators, they lose it. They lose the interest of a lot of people because lo and behold, Americans and just many people in general are really fucking stupid. Okay? They're dumb. They want to hear someone go, this is just common sense. That's part of the reason why a lot of people despise me as well, because I actively say I'm biased. Okay. I have a worldview. I have a well-established worldview. I think it is disingenuous to lie to you about maintaining a well-established worldview and then sheltering you from that and then claiming that I'm just simply seeking out the objective truth and also stating that this is just common sense over and over again. It's a very effective way to do propaganda. That's what they do. Okay? That's what a lot of right-wing content creators do. They do it very effectively. It is what it is. Yeah, my brother was never right-wing, and he was sucked into the right-wing pipeline by people like Jordan Peterson and Tim Pool. That's precisely what is happening. Asman is the top of the funnel, okay? And the people that he watches, and I'm the top of the funnel for leftists. Like, that is the reality. And when you're at the top of the funnel, okay, you reach as broad of an audience as possible, and then you funnel them into people that are more interested in reading, learning about different perspectives. The problem is when you're at the top of the fucking funnel for right-wing content, you're going to be watching a lot of right-wing content creators like that fucking Lolly guy that Asmongold watches all the time, or Tyler Oliveira, all these things. And then you're effectively taking this massive audience of people who are like, well, this is a centrist guy with normal opinions. He's just speaking truth about how everybody feels. And then you're funneling them into more and more right-wing reactionary bullshit. Do you think Asman is aware of this? I don't think he gives a shit. I don't think he gives a shit. I think he just likes the attention that he gets. That's why he's doing it. That's why I keep repeating. And I promise you, if tomorrow Asmongold got 100,000 live viewers saying socialism is awesome, he would do it. And it's not like he is lying about it. I mean, it's not like he's hiding it. He is very honest about it. He says it all the time. He says it all the time. You are not on the edge of a funnel. It's the rim of a toilet. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a lot of people feel this way in the United States of America. That's why we will never get fucking healthcare, okay? Because of dummies like you. Do you understand? Oh, the toilet. You got toilet opinions. I was worried about the response to this moment, and things like Asmongold doing political content is another sign of a dangerous moment we're in. And while in this dangerous moment, we don't have a functional opposition party or even opposition movement, lefties even in retreat right now, and a lot of infrastructure in shambles. No, I agree. We're fucked. Shit is fucked. We'll figure it out. But no matter what, you know what you can't change? The fact that LeBron James tonight passed the 50,000 mark. My GOAT, LeBron James. So that is what matters. I'm going to bed. I'm so tired. All right. Another half day at 10 hours. Love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Woo! Yeah, in these dark times, in these trying times, remember that LeBron James got 50,000 points. You and your community's political views are not the majorities, non-logical. Watching the copium is hilarious, though. We need commentators like you to keep pushing them over this way. Wait, what? Why did you give me money to say that? I know that my position, okay, to the average American is not immediately exciting or popular. That's not going to change my perspective on the things that I believe in. It is my job to try and advocate to get you to understand what I'm fighting for. Because at the end of the day, what I'm fighting for is you, okay? That's it. I want you to get health care. That's it. I want your tax dollars not to go to the baby murder machine and instead to go to fixing the goddamn potholes. That's it. If you have a disagreement with that, I don't know what to tell you. You're like, nah, dog, unlimited funds to Israel, please. Unlimited funds to Israel, please. That was good bait. Yeah. This is why the YouTube video is better. Yeah, look at this. Look at that. Look at my minuscule amount of views here. Okay. It's nothing. Look at Asmongold's views. And that's just one account. Then he also has Asmon TV and Asmongold clips. Look at fucking Ben Shapiro. Look at the Daily Wire. Asmongold is the largest, by and large, the largest right-wing political content creator, perhaps maybe the largest political content creator in general. Okay? Why is this so hard for people to comprehend? I do not know. Yeah. Now, he doesn't like that. He has multiple channels on this list. All of them are larger. Asmon TV and Asmongold clips are still fucking larger than David Pacman Show, Sam Cedar, Timcast News, Timcast IRL combined. Okay? I don't think you guys understand. Asmongold, #1 political streamer, living rent-free in HasanAbi mind. This is not... Okay, I don't know how to describe it. Patrick Bet David is on the left here. He's massive, but I also haven't encountered an Asmon fan in the wild. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a reason for that, I think. They're too busy playing fucking WoW Classic at home. All right, let's finish this. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow from the second largest political content creator on the platform. Peace.